Something like a movie, right? Yeah, I know everybody don't want to talk about it, but look, we gonna talk about it. One thing we gonna do, we gonna talk about it. Any topic. Let's get into it. We already here.
Yo, welcome back to another edition of the Life Be Life and podcast. Back up on the scene, nah, I mean.
Yeah.
I'm your host, Tony D.
And I'm your host, D to the J, still in the building like I ain't never left. And it feels so good. Shout out to heaven as we celebrate this 1 year anniversary for my sister, man. Shout out, bro.
Man.
You know what it is, man. It's another Won't He Do It Wednesday. I know we gonna be cooking tonight. We got part 2 of the what happens to the education system, man. That was it was like that, man. It was like that. We had to put a pin in it just because we was rolling on the river. And I ain't talking about the one Tina sang about. So
Indeed.
Yeah, man, what's going on? What you talk to me?
Man, it's another Won't He Do It Wednesday. Here we are. Just want to give a quick shout out, man. Hey, people dealing with a lot out here. You know what I'm saying? Don't be the reason. You feel me? Do not be the reason that somebody gives up, loses hope, loses faith. Cause trust me, man, between workplaces, personal relationships, personal stances, yo, it's getting crazy out here. Love on one another, man. The way things are going, hey, you remember I always say community is what? Common unity between you and I. We gotta start getting some of that common unity because trust and believe is coming faster than we all think that it is. But other than that, man, hey, football season is crazy right now. Like there's a lot going on. There's some teams that's emerging, going back and forth. I actually stayed up last night, bro. You're gonna be proud of me. I watched both kickoff basketball games last night.
Oh yeah.
So,
but now you watching it after the most exciting league, which is the W. The WNBA is way more exciting. And
I see that. I was waiting for you to shout it out.
Once again, anybody that has seen who won that title, I talked about it in season 1, who was a bad mama jamma, and now she's on 4 MVPs, 3 titles, season MVP, scoring title, defensive player of the year, MVP finals, and another chip. So it's just absolutely insane.
And most of that in the same season.
No, all of that was in the same season. She's the first player this year. She, like I said, she got season MVP.
She could be a 2-time in the same season. That's why I said most.
No, her back to back. That was for defensive player. But how you doing it on both sides of the rock, which is insane.
Yeah.
So you got the best defensive player in the league that also is the most efficient in terms of points. So crazy, bro. Man, we got a lot of new stuff, man. I'm thankful we was finally able to get dude where he needed to be, and from what I'm hearing, we finally able to get my man's from Macon and travel to, I guess, Honolulu and everywhere else. We got an outstanding show that's gonna cap what we talked about 2 weeks back. Man, I'm excited, man. So let's do what we do, bro. Whether it's disclosures, man, let's get it off of it. I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. Check out the videos on social media, man, because hey, we've been talking to him, rapping with him, you know what I'm saying? So we finally got this cracking. So you know what I'm about to do. I'm about to make it what it do, you hear me?
The views and opinions expressed on the Life Be Life and podcast are solely those of the artists, producers, guests, and hosts of the show. Any numbers, stats, or stated resources that are given, we do ask that you verify that information for yourself.
Have you ever been in a situation and needed to be a little bit of emotional but just couldn't seem to tap in? Possibly needed to back your way out of a lie and show them that you're telling the truth by crying? Well, have no fears. Cry No More is here, made from real baby tears. The organic, all-natural substance you'll take once a day, and it'll produce tears on the spot. It'll get those tear ducts flowing. May cause side effects including internal bleeding, diarrhea, hemorrhaging of the belly button, eyelash removal, hair removal, back fat removal, toes falling off, and also bad breath. Cry No More. Real organic tears. Never be stranded again.
Yo, what up, lifers? It's your boy Tony D. You know, from the Life to Life podcast. Get ready to prep for the show. 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, the party begins. Do you have clean and original music? There go the email. Shoot it in to us. Do you have a story that you want to tell or you want to hear us dissect? Go ahead, send that joker in. Birthday shout-outs, anniversary shout-outs. How many times I got to tell you? Send it in. We invite you to come get your finger sticky tonight with the best duo since Wings and Ranch. All you got to do is pull up. We go bring the napkins and the conversation. By the way, no toilets are being used or harmed in the recording of this video. Catch us 8 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Y'all heard what he said. Make sure you tune it in.
Send it in.
Because the party is about to begin. You hear me? So, man, now that we got that out the way, I know last week we were talking about what happened to the education system. And just so we do not go back and get stuck on those topics, we're actually going to start where we left off. I believe I was speaking about the pay rate of a lot of our teachers.
Absolutely.
So since that particular show, I did just a little more digging, and I feel like that some of the information that I have found about the pay rate and why our teachers make so little, because I see some of the qualifications are not the same anymore. Back in the day, you need to be certified and have, a degree. Nowadays, you can get a certificate. You know what I'm saying? Depending on the grade, as long as you can read off a syllabus and keep kids in check somewhat and do a little bit of homework, paperwork, you're good to go.
Right.
I feel like that standard failed. It's kind of like growing up on the west side, man, there was a Church's Chicken right there on Skinker and Delmore. All while I was a little kid, you know what I'm saying, going there late 80s, early 90s, the business ran immaculate. The place was always spotless, clean, people was friendly when you walked in. So probably right around 2010 or 11, I went to that same Church's. It was people outside begging. The parking lot was filthy. You go inside, the store was dirty. Atmosphere wasn't friendly. So what I'm saying is, as we allow the standards to decline, so does the education. So does what our kids are being taught. Like COVID. I believe COVID is one of the worst things that happened to our kids, because some people had kindergartners, that have been passed on to first grade that really couldn't count. You know what I'm saying? Know their colors, spell their name. So now here we are in this predicament to our teachers are underpaid. They are understaffed. They're undersupplied because all the stuff that they ask parents to bring, it's like, wait a minute, if each parent is spending $300 or $400 on materials, where is it going? We know there are some students that do not have, but teachers are constantly going into their own pocket. So not only are they not making enough, they're going into their own pocket. Now, as we look at what happened in St. Louis City, so the superintendent was removed from a vote of no confidence, and now she's owed up to $750,000, I believe. Okay, we also talked about Francis Howe, who's now being investigated. That superintendent didn't work one day, and they owe him $229,000. So where is the taxpayers' money going? Because taxes are steady going up. Personal property taxes steady going up. Sales taxes is going up. So if the bar is steady being raised for my finances, and when you look at the breakdown, so much goes to this school district and goes to education, it goes that. Why is the standard steady failing us, bro?
the standard is steady failing, and the money is going to one source, and it's hard for the tonsils to get that water when the tongue's sucking it all up, bro. What I'm saying, man, the money is starting literally at the top, in my estimation, and it's not trickling down. So you talked about all those, these people are still owed all this money, right? But they were let go. But if they still owe, then that clearly means that there was some type of violation. Something was processed without his due diligence, or y'all still wouldn't be paying nobody, right? That don't make no sense. Free labor. this is not what the version of America's free labor look like. This is the reverse. You supposed to the history books that they're trying to remove, since we're talking about education, the thing that's in these history books speaks to not paying people and causing them to work tired. Now you telling me you gonna send them to the crib, not make them work, and you still gotta pay them? Man, that's how you know. So just kind of piggybacking off of that, bro, the same school districts. It's the same school district. So as we transition into this week, talking about what's happened to the education system with that particular school district, okay. Let's just start with, here you have a father who was just apprehended. He's been processed, if you would, right, for apparently taking his 6-year-old child on the bus, and what they're claiming was like almost like a hit. Used her to attack a older student, a 7-year-old student. And, you know, of course, all the things came down. What kind of parent? Wow, monster.
Exactly.
But since the story first broke, of course, there's always more that's going to continue to roll out. And the more is that this is not the first incident. This was not a father who just decided he was going to take things by the code of the street. Nah, they tried, from what I've looked into, they tried to do things the right way. They fell on deaf ears. And so, you know, as a parent, once you do all the things that you try to do, get the schools involved, get the teachers involved, get the principals involved, none of that stuff is happening, right? Now, we would love to say, as a parent, I should be able to go to you, parent number 2, and say, yo, I don't know what's really going on. Our kids is having some type of issue. Let's all sit down and come to common terms. We would love to be rational like that. But for all those who haven't seen, there's actually a movie that has its own documentary where that was the case, and this mother of 6 ended up losing her life without ever even having to get that conversation, because she was blown out the frame through the door in just a horrific act, right? So you can't even say, well, why didn't he go to that child's parent? He did everything. And what it appears is, in the last effort of frustration, because my child is coming home crying, scared. You know, school is a place of refuge. It's a place to learn. It's supposed to be fun. We develop our social skills, our motor skills, you know, all these different things. This is where we learn. So when he finally says, you know what, I have to do this, and you're going to have to stand up and defend for yourself. You got to do it. If you don't, they're going to keep picking on you. Bro, you know that story because you had to finally just get to a point you say, you know what, I ain't running no more. Right.
You don't fight them, you got to fight me.
Right. Right. And so this is the same school district. The same school district, which is also the same school district for our guest that we had on part 1, right, where this is a area where there was no nurses on staff. They didn't project that they would even have one for this upcoming school year. It made the news. Boom. This is also the same school district who last month allowed a man that was of no relation and was not known to a parent to enter into the school and take this 13-year-old child and check them out of school, take her back to whatever place he would, where luckily the authorities found him before whatever was, you know what I'm saying? Same school district, bro. So I say all that to just say, man, it's really appearing with this school district, and we really look again. I put it out there, and I'm gonna say it again. We would love to hear feedback from the Ferguson Florissant superintendent, school district, whoever that may be. We would love to hear back because maybe there's something that we're missing. But it appears that there is a serious level of protection, bro, around these teachers. And I'm going to say this before I pass it back. I wholeheartedly believe that teachers should be paid really the equivalent of a doctor. People will try to say, nah, you tripping, D. I'll give you bars on why I say it. If you say a lawyer, as smart as a lawyer is, bro, how you become a lawyer? What you got to do? Got to go to school. Who at school teaching
Right.
you? Who teaching you? The lunch trays? A teacher's teaching.
Right.
A doctor, your judges, lawyers. So nobody can be this person of power. Nobody can be this person of higher up unless a teacher first did it. So this doctor that you paying all this money to save your life had to learn those life-saving skills from a teacher. So a teacher, well, I'm gonna say that.
Yeah.
So I want y'all to understand this ain't no teacher bashing thing, but we got to figure some stuff out. 8:15, bro. I want you to answer this for me and get your thoughts before we. What you want to do?
Before you ask,
okay.
I want a thought that you gave last show to really resonate really quick.
All right.
Because you kind of gave the analogy of, as we was talking about no nurse at the school. So now there's no nurse, which means those tasks were delegated to the front desk.
Everybody has to change position.
She was stepping away.
Yep.
That she was stepping away, that someone stepped in that was unqualified.
Yep.
And I feel like that is happening holistically, you know what I'm saying, around our schools, to where if there's no gym person, they're sending a science teacher. Well, if the science teacher doesn't know how to properly shoot a basketball, set your feet, you know what I'm saying, hit a tennis racket, whatever the case may be, now it's doing our kids a misjustice and an injustice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When we really think about it. So I want people to really think about that, to where when someone is out of position, kind of like, we both worked at the same place of employment for a little bit, and there had to be a lobby leader. But the thing was, all lobby leaders were paid equal.
I thought you were talking about the trap house. Anyway.
We're going to have to bleep that out.
I got it.
But
this live.
So the thing is that we had a lobby leader there. Yeah. So that lobby leader, depending on who it was, can only do so many things, because if someone else is signed into that computer, there's only so much they can do, because it took too long to sign that person out, to sign yourself in to try to help this customer.
Yeah.
So I really feel like that the system is passing the buck on our kids, man. Either they'll get it or they won't. So I just want people to really think about who's really teaching your kids, who really has control, who really has directional control and directional influence over our kids. So my bad, bro, but I was really thinking about that as you were wrapping up, and I'm like,
no,
hammer that home.
No, that's I like that, but and we can stay there real quick, because so much is said in that. So we really realized it towards the end of the show, and it made a lot of sense based on the primary topic that we focused on part one. We had the news clip that showed everything, and everybody was just really crazy. Like, how is it that there's no nurses? How are you comfortable in saying we're not even budgeted? And then when feet get put to the fire, you want to recant. And we talked about how, so because there was no nurse, probably the secretary feel that, because they mentioned they was going to have somebody covered. The secretary was supposed to cover, which now makes more sense how a man of no family relation is able to slip into the school and check out somebody, because the person that they were dealing with in the school didn't know the appropriate procedures. They know normal school stuff, but they weren't the specialists in who was and who wasn't to check out a kid. They was hip to answering the phones. Now we ain't got nobody. So it's just it's that domino effect. And
Yeah.
When you're talking about teaching, there's only two methods. Only two methods of teaching, lifers. That would be you either taught the right way or the wrong way. It's only two ways. And if you're not the right person, because you're just simply standing in the classroom, almost in a babysitting capacity, right? A chaperoning role. That's really what you're doing. You chaperoning.
Yeah.
They're only in this class for an hour and 15 minutes. And the real teacher ain't there.
Right.
What are they getting? They don't come home with homework no more. Kids don't even have homework. We already know they don't know how to write cursive. They don't have homework. They not learning. Teachers barely doing it. Bro, tell me why it be 11:30 midnight and emails is jumping like crickets in the summertime with notifications, because now here it is, they putting in grades. Why are you putting in grades so late?
I feel like if I'm gonna keep it a bean, gotcha. So if I'm gonna keep it a bean for real, I feel like that some of our teachers are massively overworked as well for
True.
the amount of pay that they receive. So I believe a lot of them have side gigs and extra gigs to where it's like I have to go, DoorDash for a couple hours after work. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
In order to make ends meet, because then if I can't come to work and I'm constantly missing as a teacher, I'm gonna get replaced anyway. I
Yeah.
feel like that because our kids are no longer a priority, neither are our schools or our teachers. Because again, bro, I sit back and I remember back when I was in grade school, and you would hear of teachers having nice pensions and getting ready to retire and will be okay, and I'm good. I don't have to do anything else. To where
Mm-hmm.
nowadays we have older, more seasoned people who are supposed to be enjoying the
Yeah.
rest of their lives
Yeah.
because they committed 30, 40, sometimes 50 years to an institution. Now I'm on the backside of that, but I still got to go be a greeter at Walmart. And I can't do too much of that because they'll cut my
Then it's
Social
gonna come
Security
out. Yeah.
because I'm trying to help myself.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that the priority has been lost. And again, when the priorities are lost, so does the standards. And right now, bro, I really feel like that our standards are low. They're so low to I remember when we moved from Dalewood into Bell Fountain, our kids were supposed to go to Riverview. Riverview lost their accreditation.
True that.
So our kids were going to Ferguson Florissant, but they said, y'all have to get them and pick them up because we're not supplying buses.
Mm-hmm.
When Riverview got somewhat accreditation back, Ferguson Florissant said, because I reached out because I knew teachers there, I knew administrators because we were active parents.
Yeah.
They said Riverview refused. Now check this out. This is the thing that boggled my mind, bro. And I want to know what your thoughts about this.
Mm-hmm.
Let me so I can say this with my chest here.
Yeah.
So the thing that really boggled my mind is that our kids have been at this school for 2, 3 years now. They're transitioning to middle school or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So when we received the letter that our kids cannot enroll that upcoming school year, of course we called in all the favors that we could call in. Bottom line, someone told me
Mm-hmm.
Riverview refuses to pay for them to come here anymore. So my
Mm-hmm.
thought process was like,
Mm-hmm.
wait a minute, if
Mm-hmm.
they're unaccredited,
Mm-hmm.
and yes, I appreciate the opportunity for my kids to go to Ferguson, Florissant for a little bit, but if they're unaccredited, where are they getting the funds to pay another school to teach their kids? But now, here's the kicker. Once those kids left Ferguson, Florence, and they came back to Riverview, they were severely ahead to where now
Mm-hmm.
Riverview's curriculum is trying to catch up with where they were.
Yeah.
I'm baffled, bro. Like, so for
It's
all the
systematic.
schools that went to, yeah, it's crazy, bro. Like, what? Hey, somebody got cut off a tap.
It's systematic. It's
Yeah,
systematic. And so
yeah,
you show me a neighborhood that doesn't mirror what we would see at the cookout. You feel me? And you will not see no schools that aren't accredited. And the
Yeah.
reason why this is important is because it's another way in my mind to kind of confine and restrict. So if you go way, way back, grandparents' days, you know, they was really by ninth grade graduating with you know, certificates to be a licensed plumber or electrician. You know what I'm saying? They working on the railroad. So that's why back in the days, you know, you had grandma, grandpa that could afford their own crib. You know what I'm saying? Do all these things. You could get a good paying job. And so then it came to the point, well, let's make it to where to continue this education, you have to pay for it. Education been free for 12 years from the point that you didn't even know one. You feel me? You didn't even know what, hey, what's first? Huh?
That point.
You didn't even know that. All the way up to where you're passing this testing, and now we're going to charge you. But other countries, that secondary education is free. But here we have this accreditation, and we're putting it in schools in certain areas, and now we're saying that they're unable to keep up or keep pace with the required curriculum for the nation. That don't make sense. That doesn't make sense. So you basically are telling me that my child who does well cannot or could be held accountable for not when they graduate, bro. Colleges won't recognize it from an unaccredited school. Jobs can be like, nah, you ain't that school. I mean, they a school, true indeed, but they wasn't up to standards, which means your education ain't legit. What you see?
So check this out, bro.
Yup.
All right. I know it's nearing the 8:30 mark. I'm getting text, and you know I normally don't check my phone. So Tappy's text is like, "Are we good? What y'all finna do?"
In town, man. Hey,
right? So you know what?
Hey, I'm a fan of the bro. I'm a fan of the tap. I ain't even gonna hold you.
So let's do this.
Let's get it.
We finna head into break, bro.
Yup.
Go ahead and lead in tap for me, man. Because even though I brought him to you, you did the logistics, man.
Because he checked out. Because he checked out, man. I really dig tap, man. I'm messing with him. It took a long time to get this dude to the studio. I have never seen. I just on me, man. I ain't never seen a moment where a 20-30 minute car ride turns into a 3-week ordeal.
Right, layover.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
But Hawaii,
man. So
Honolulu, Texas.
Like I said, when he sent the finished product, he say he the realest fake rapper out, man. I'm gonna have to give it to him, man. I'm seeing the PR, the press releases, all this, man. Hey, you know what? We gonna see. It's the debut, so let's run that break, do what it do, and see what Tap talking about. Tap in with the tap.
Yo, this is Ryan the Gamer, owner of the Snack Boys. You are now tapped into the Life Be Life podcast.
They care about team too. Life be life, no cap.
Hey yo, life be life, man. So let's talk about it. Tune in now.
Man, if y'all haven't been tuned in to the Life Be Life podcast, y'all sleeping.
Back up on the scene, I mean.
All right, y'all. Hope y'all ready for it. We've been delaying it. Like he said, what he said, delayed does not mean denied, says the tap. So, bro, y'all ready for this? Hey.
He said delayed, not denied, and then called us some baby boys.
Baby boys.
Man, that dude, I've never seen a dude, man, and he's only like 24, 25 years old. Anyway, man, it's the tap. I got you.
All right, y'all. This is Tapwater Jones' debut single called Skittle Bar.
Turn on them faucets, baby boy. You looking at the water. Yeah. Coming straight from the top. Looking for a Skittle Bar. Skittle vibe. I'm looking for a skittle vibe. A skittle vibe. Looking for a skittle vibe. Skittle vibe. I'm looking for a skittle vibe. Skittle vibe. If she got food stamps, I'll F with her. You gotta think ramen noodles is a fire dinner. I want a woman who drank with all her kids 7 days a week, 7 different weeks. Yeah, I'm looking for a skitty vibe, a skitty vibe. And I'm gonna find my skitty vibe, skitty vibe. I can't wait to get my oh my, it's my, that's kiddo, cause she my, skittle. 1 week, 2 kid, 3 kid, 4 kid, 5 kid, 6, 7 wigs. Baby hair, no edges. If she bald head, she can still take me to the 7-Eleven. Skittle vibe, skittle vibe, skittle vibe. Yeah, I'm looking for my skittle.
All right, man. So tell me what y'all think. Pump it or dump it as we go into part 2 of our 1 hour session, man. Tell me what y'all think about school football. We played it right before the break. So, hey,
yeah. I had a thought,
tell
man.
me, man. It's the tap. Better
I had
tap in or you might get tapped out.
Hey, I had a thought though. You was really talking about just how education just like is just plummeted, right? We touched on part 1, just the value of education, what's happened to the value. And so I'm just kind of thinking, man, it made me just think like, is this the perfect time for us in our community to really continue to push HBCUs? Is this the time because of where education has really like plummeted on the whole? And it seems like the only ones that are eager and really value education, the pride, you know what I'm saying? I went to Jackson State, I went to I went to FAMU, regardless of what that looks like. HBCUs. And then I got to thinking, we know nothing new is happening. There's nothing new under the sun. HBCUs historically, from a visual perspective, meaning the media, we've seen it Martin episodes, you know, just in gear, just being fly. You've seen it in Fresh Prince. But it was one person historically that made sure that the Black community understood the value in HBCUs, but just the value in education in general. And then not just in education, in the arts that go beyond that, to make a full, I guess you could say, bring all your attributes to make a well-rounded human. Now, I ain't talking about the well-rounded like Ponderosa doing. I'm talking about what talents and gifts you dig. So when you think about what was done to Bill, because I know we was all made in God's image and likeness, bro.
Yeah, indeed.
But I've seen some of them women that said Bill did it. You can't tell me they was made in God's image. You're not gonna tell me. You're not gonna get me to fall that apple came off of that tree.
Like the podcast, or strictly those of the guests.
You're not gonna convince me that that apple fell from that tree.
I just had to do it again, just in case somebody missed it.
But I ain't say who. But your thoughts, man, like the value in HBCUs, is this really like a great time? And I know I'm kind of shifting gears, bro, but I want to really, how can we talk about a problem? I don't want to be them cats that just always griping and beefing, riffing something wrong. We know what's wrong, how we fix it. So is this a piece of the resolution.
So, bro, um, yes, I feel like because I remember what was that season 2 maybe we put out the statistic that there are actually more black men enrolled in college than it is
In jail.
behind bars,
Yeah, facts.
right?
Yeah.
And I feel like that couples with this because outside of everything that's been done, the projects, we're now hearing the stories of Pruitt Igoe. We knew about the Cochrane and Peabodys.
Yeah.
Now they're talking about, diseases and cancers can be linked to it. I
Yeah.
also look at the DSED program to where once again you pack so many families on top of one another, then sent them once again, so that may go over somebody's head, to a foreign
Mhm.
territory and expected them to survive. Notice I said once again because we all
Yeah.
know the great movement that took place.
Right.
So I feel like that when the DSED program happened, the integrity of our city schools was greatly damaged. I feel and I understand that they were giving inner city kids a chance at an exposure to better educations and I hear all of that. But I feel like that our St. Louis public schools was doing a doggone good job. If people don't remember, be there one, be there two. You know what I'm saying? Where at least if you were showing up trying that you could pass the class, whether what I'm saying it was too hard or not, as long as you got a passing grade. I feel like once that integrity was damaged, because back in those days, kids were walking to school because every neighborhood had a school. So now you're going to school with your neighbors. Then you get bussed out in DSEG and you're like, okay, well, my bus then went from the north side to the west side to the south side to come in South County. So I really don't know these people. Yes, we may gravitate to a relationship, but I'm plucked from my surroundings. Then you get out there and you're treated differently. We all know the stories in the 90s of the DSEG and what happened
Yeah.
and what happened. So again, our educational system has been damaged. Now, on top of that, coupled, bro. So as you're digesting all that, what I said,
Mm-hmm.
as the DSEG program happened, it was kind of like, okay, so now we are going to start structuring our education just a little bit different to make it seem like that we're giving a better choice of education or a better standard. There it is, a better standard of education. But really, now that we've grown and we know to pull back the curtain and there's a wizard back there, now we see that that was actually a ploy to get tax dollars pumped into their system.
True. 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 But I'm
I'm just
even
saying,
say
bro.
this. The the emphasis on education, yeah, that's changed, but a lot of the reason why that's changed is because of the structure of the household. Everything that we've always talked about always goes hand in hand. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at the structure of the household, I I could be specific and talk about the two parent household and the dad being there, but I ain't even gonna go there right now. I'm just gonna talk into let's talk to the maternal value, right? So
Yeah.
now in these homes, you know what I'm saying? And shout out to all the women that's doing what they got to do to hold it down. But the reality is the home looks different. The single parent home in the 80s was a mom that was of age, seasoned, working, had the respect of the neighbors. You feel me? Neighbors looked out for each other. They understood that it takes a community. We all we got. Around the time that Tupac was rapping and saying, basically, if we don't change, we're gonna have a race of babies that'll hate the ladies and the ladies, right? And so in between our generation and then that next one, as kids began to have kids, now you have that 16-year-old little girl who don't want to listen as is, which is how she got pregnant because she didn't want to sit her fast tail down like she was
Whoa, whoa,
told to.
whoa, whoa,
Get back.
whoa, whoa.
Yeah.
Run that back one more time. Repeat that.
Whoop. So now you got these kids having kids, 16-year-olds having the baby. She's in the phase of rebellion herself. which is why she got pregnant. Mama said, when I'm at work, don't have nobody in my crib. She said, you said nobody? That must mean me too. And she outside. You hear me? She get pregnant. She has a baby. You always said, Mama, when you get your own crib, you can do that. When you get your own. But guess who got their own baby now? And you can't tell me jack. So now she ain't got to do that. Now she ain't got to do this, right? That's the difference in complexion of the house now versus then. And so because of that parent and their still now new lifestyle and them still having to mature, this child is in elementary school in the prime sponge education years of their life, and they ain't soaking up nothing, you know what I'm saying, at all. Other part of that, you mentioned D-Seg. Bro, I'm going to go back and take you to the real Seg, right? So out of all these years, man, I had never heard this story from my mother until roughly 5 months ago, let's say. So my mother tells me the story. I don't even know how we got on this one day, but my bird basically says she can remember. So she born in Little Rock, raised in Poplar Bluff, Missouri. She tells me a story that all her life, up until, if I'm not mistaken, 9th grade, it was all black teachers, all black students, principals, everything. And I was like, huh? She was like, yeah, I remember that segregation because that year we got sent to this school. They didn't want us there. And we all know it's different when you reading stuff, man. You've seen the videos, people at the diners and getting, you know what I'm saying, harassed. But I think about my kids in school and how realistically, man, it's some very simple things that can disrupt your child's ability to learn. Something as simple as a bully, right? Something as simple as the inability to eat breakfast that morning. Everybody knew that. That's where breakfast programs and all these free things came from, because you sitting there worried about your meal, you're gonna have a hard time trying to figure out where the heck Johnny other apples went to. You did.
Who you cooking? Hold
Man.
on.
You got these programs.
Cooking, boy.
We understand all these different things, bro. Bullies can mess you up. The lack thereof can mess you up. Clothes can mess you up. You don't think that shifting a child 25 minutes out the way can fade them? I know what that's like, bro.
Yeah.
I know what that's like, being from Indianapolis and Hallville. And a school that literally was a block up, bro. When I tell you I looked at that school all my life and it never was open. I never seen a single kid run through there. I never heard a single ball bounce, except when we was doing things we ain't had no business doing. Shout out the little baby. Anyway, anywho, but we got bussed 25, 30 minutes out, bro. We used to get bussed so far that I could literally choose not to do my spelling work the night before and would have time to do it on the bus. And I'm talking about when you had to write them like 20 words 5 times each. Yeah, stuff like that. So now you're in a whole different community.
Getting on the bus at 4:30 in the morning.
That too with the D-Seg, absolutely. Now, luckily, I don't know nothing about that. It was regular bus, and we just went way to the other side of town. But you're in an atmosphere, man, where people don't look like you. And that's not a problem for you. Sometimes it's a problem for others. Because the media will give different information, this, that, and the third. So I say all that to say, man, that some of the things that is taking place with education, based on the very topic that you brought up, and this is why I tied it in, this is that accreditation piece. Because the schools that are in our community will lose the accreditation. Therefore, they're going to lose the funding. Then they lose the funding, then they have to close. This is why we see all these schools inside prominent Black communities and even just in regular communities in general, you know what I'm saying, that are closed. Bro, there's schools in almost every community that is very specific to them. I have under my book of business there's a school called the Tamil School. Tamil is one of the oldest languages on the face of this earth. It is not even relative to this country. But in this country, it's ensured that their history is going to be understood, all while mixing in and integrating with what they need to be a part of everyday life. One, that should be for everywhere, because we all have to coexist. Why are you trying to remove stuff from the history books? You never put some stuff there to begin with. There's a whole lot of lies. If we're going to tell his story, then let's tell our story. Rename that bull crap. Everybody's story is contributing to this thing, bro. So, bro, I'm gonna kick this thing back to you, man, because I know I went on a little spiel, but the reality is a lot of the things, man, that our school systems is dealing with is location based. And if your school is not performing up to par, I would be willing to bet that it is based upon where you live.
Yeah.
Efforts to control what is learned out of that community. When I'm saying community, I'm not talking about a racial community. I'm talking about a community dealing with location, proximity. You know what I'm saying? It's to control that. Land cannot continue to grow. The earth got what it's got. So the only way for many to get ahead is you got to find a way to finagle, aka steal land to continue to further generational wealth. So again, I honestly say that the cure to a lot of this is to impress HBCU, because from what I've seen, the people that I know that have went there, the things that I've seen media based, they teaching a lot of core values. We know that the hazing is something that needs to be eliminated, and that's not HBCU, so I'm not even going to put that on them. That's just colleges and secondary education in general. It just needs to be eliminated. But I feel like it is the closest thing. Military isn't for everybody. I feel like HBCUs gives us, no disrespect to nobody, any of the branches, I feel like it gives just a fraction of the military, meaning it from the discipline standpoint, but it gives you from a disciplinary standpoint, along with the pride, the knowledge, wherever basis you come from, bro. The more you know about yourself, the better you feel. If you don't know nothing, how can you really stand firm and not get swayed or bothered by what somebody's kicking to you, and you don't even know if what they saying is facts or not, or falsehood? You feel me? You know what I'm saying? You know, it's not really gonna get to me if you calling me a bum or a nobody. Nah, that's gonna piss me off, because why you bother me? But I know my worth, so I'm not tripping off of the choice of words. I'm choosing at the reason that you're choosing to use the words. You know what I'm saying? But it's all because I know who I am. I know my value.
Indeed.
You feel? So what you thinking, bro?
Well, I'm gonna take this moment, man, and get my soapbox in.
All right.
So the last two shows, man, we've really dug into education. The one thing that we haven't really talked about that I'm getting ready to address right now is parents.
Yeah.
Sometimes parents, and I understand life be doing this thing. You're working a couple of jobs, you may be chasing a couple of bops, or whatever the case may be, and you are not teaching your kids the fundamentals. I read a post on Facebook right at the beginning of school. Said this child showed up to first grade, didn't really know their name, didn't know their colors, couldn't count. And so now this kindergarten teacher is saying, so I have kids that are ready to, I'm sorry, this first grade teacher, might have been kindergarten. It's one and two, kindergarten, first grade, but nonetheless, what the teacher is saying, so now I have kids, most of my kids can do this, but this one kid showed up that cannot, because it feels like and it seems like they're not being taught anything at home. So now Either I leave this child behind or I stunt the growth and progress of the rest of the class or try to balance them both. And what this person was saying on this Facebook post was just saying, hey, parents, you know, if little Johnny can sing every little baby song and twerk and dance and whatever the case may be, you know, our kids do, they pick up everything like a sponge.
Yeah.
So Johnny can do all this and be in grown folks' business. Johnny needs to know how to count to 10. Johnny needs to know how to tie his shoes. Johnny needs to know how to spell his name. But the parents have to do their part at home. My wife,
Yeah.
who works actually in child care development,
Mm-hmm.
she also lets me know sometimes like this parent didn't do anything for this child. This child is 2 and 3 years old, still in pull-ups, still in diapers. Parents, we have to take that burden off our teachers. We have to prep our kids somehow, some way to know something walking into those school doors. You cannot allow your child to raise hell, talk back to you, put their hands on you, cuss you out, and have their way at home and expect for anything different to do at school because this is all this child knows.
Yep.
Help us. Help you. And I'm gonna step down for today, bro.
I feel that, bro, and I can appreciate and respect you for that. Listen, staying with that, man, the lack of that parent guidance, bro, that's really what you're talking about. And that's stupid negligent. You know, if your son, you know what I'm saying, Cortez don't be doing what he supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? Shartisha ain't on point what she doing. Becky Bobinski, whoever it may be. You know what I'm saying? They wilding out. They don't listen to you at home. If your child ain't listening to you at home, you telling your homegirls, homeboys, girl, they don't listen to me. But you send them on that school bus with the utmost confidence. What you think they doing for 8 hours? Struggling to teach other kids that want to learn. You know what I'm saying?
In true religion.
True. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of these scenarios, man, where again, everything I feel is working hand in hand, and it takes one thing that's going to assist the other part that's going to get this wheel back to moving right. So if we're talking about how can we fix what's wrong in our schools, look, we can talk about the Francis Howe situation where you had racial slurs, you had sexual indications that are written in graffiti in the school bathrooms. And while they're trying to find out what student did it, lo and behold, it's the custodian. It's a grown man. And when they asked little buddy what's his reasoning behind it, he's like, well, that's exactly what he said. But they asked him, buddy, why you do it? My man's like, well, I figured that they was the ones that was putting all that graffiti up that I got to clean up. So that's crazy. We can't control that though. You know what I'm saying? What can we control? I can't control whether or not my child does not have a nurse at the school. As much as I would want to, I could raise all kind of ruckus. They're not going to say, you right, let me go call such and such from this school. I can only control what can I control. What can I control, bro?
Right.
I can control it to the best of my abilities. Even if it's not what the kid wants, I can put a hot meal in their stomach, make sure that they have on clean clothes, warm coats, and get them ready for school. I can prepare their mind, man. Shame on y'all parents that's not teaching your children how to be prepared for life. I understand you think they're only 5, 6 years old. Bro, do you know how many people have lost parents that didn't even make it to the age of 5 or 6?
Man.
You know what I'm saying? I will never be afforded the pleasure of seeing my mother with her mother because that never had the opportunity.
Yeah.
There's some things that never will be. So you can't afford to say, I'm going to teach this lesson when they're 13, 14, 15. I'm going to wait until they're a senior in school before I present to them this. No, I'm going to say this and I'm going to wrap it up. This is how you present the same information out. You can respect this, and anybody else, such as myself, that has a large family, will respect it. Look, when we eat dinner, my wife sets out the right amount of plates for everybody. On everybody's plate, it's the same food. The difference when it comes to, let's say, the older kid, it just gets set on the plate. The next in line, it's a smaller piece. She might just cut it once in half. The next in line, it's going to get it. As it gets down the line to the baby, it's the same food, bro, but it's in smaller portions to make sure it's digestible for their palate. You feel me? So with my children, fam, I'm going to give him at 5 the same info as I'm going to give the other one. I'm just going to chop that brick up and give it to him where he can manage it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Talk to your kids, tell them the why. Stop just saying because I said so. What you said didn't make no sense to me neither. You did? So I understand why they question you, because I question you. I see your parenting is trash. I know why they question it. My sis telling us last year it's situations where people are coming into certain atmospheres, and man, I won't even get into that. But watch your kids. Watch who you have around. Teach your kids. Teach them everything that you learned. Teach them what you wish you learned. Don't give them the world. Give them what you wish you had. You turned out great. Early intervention in life is better than late intervention in life. Facts. Shout out to your wife. Facts. It is much easier to fix a hurting child than it is to repair a broken man or woman. Easier.
Indeed.
So it starts with us, bro, in the household. The way to get that education is start teaching your child. Don't wait till kindergarten for them to learn how to tie their shoe. Don't wait for them to get into somebody's classroom before you start teaching them red, blue, how to read, how to teach them. Teach them life skills, lesson skills. So that's me. That's what I'm sitting on, man. And I'm holding firm on that. I don't really care what nobody talking about. And we got the number one artist here buzzing in these streets. We like that. I don't know.
Yes, sir. So check it out, man. As we get ready to slide up out of here for tonight, understand that this season is coming to a close. We got 2 shows left.
Yeah.
All right. So we got a show in 2 weeks, and then 2 weeks from that, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving will. That's going to be what, season 6 close out, bro?
Yeah, we on season 6, man. So it's a beautiful, and I'm looking forward to seeing what season 7 brings, man. We've seen everything from just finding basic music to developing our own music, skits, concept, commercials, visuals, logo merchandise, man. And it's just a blessing, man. So, lifers, we thank you, man. Shout out from both of us.
Indeed, man. Hey, share it with a friend. Don't forget to get your merch, man. We got the tees. We got hoodies coming. We got beanies. So all you gotta do is hit us up. We
got a record label, IP Life and Records, with the number one artist right now in the streets, Tapwater Jones. If you missed his debut, you need to rewatch this. We might, you know what, bro? We got 2 minutes, man. You want
not tonight?
No, nah, save it. I'll say, man, we could have ran it back, but you know what? They can hit this replay. Like that.
So, last thing before we get out of here, we are cutting our streams. So even though we've been before you an hour, we're gonna make it more digestible just for your time increments as well. So these shows will be posting in 30-minute increments, just so you know you ain't got to sit in one place for a whole hour, because you know it's stuff to do. We appreciate y'all, man. Tapping in with us, checking in on us. We appreciate all the shares, all the likes, telling friends, telling families that we are the best duo since Wings and Ranch. Hey, because life go keep on lifing, and we're gonna be here to talk about it. I'm your host, Tony D.
And I'm your host, D to the J, still in the building like I ain't never left. It's still a G thing. Shout out to heaven. Word up.